In what way does your media product use, develop, or challenge forms and conventions of real media products? Our opening sequence stalked has a conventional or real media product by using the concept thriller theme. By doing this, the first moment she is being stalked, the lighting drops into a blue frosting lighting. The more she gets stalked in the moment of time, the lighting drops into a red lighting, which intensifies the feeling for the viewers of viewing her. To create an even intense mood, the soundtrack will reflect the audience mode towards the two characters. This will make the audience a tense feeling to want to watch more of the clip. This will cause and create sense of violence and confrontation. The aim of the production is to see what will happen to her at the end and to see if he will be the cause of the ending. How does your media product represent particular social groups? Our opening sequence stalk represents particular social groups such as domestic women who receive physical abuse which cause her to imprison him in a mental institute. She finally recovers from the episode. She feels conscious about his release because deep down she knows he wouldn't change. Her feelings towards the situation makes her feel scared. When he is released, her fears comes to life. Therefore, our agenda is to let domestic women out there know that they are not alone.
What kind of media institution might distribute your media product and why? From my research, I thought that the distributing company for our product can be Warner Brothers. This is because Warner Brothers distributes many blockbusting films like Harry Potter. This means that the company can invest a high amount of money into the film to ensure it is not a low-budget film. Because Warner Brothers is a high-profile media institute, our film would be distributed in most of the countries across the world. It will also receive a lot of publicity and advertisement, so should attract a lot of people. Because it will have a mainstream audience, our film will pick up many marketing and distributing companies. It could be linked to many horror and thriller films, such as Scream, and therefore could attract a bigger audience. Warner Brothers has its own account on social networking sites, such as Facebook and Twitter. Therefore, it will be able to promote our film and any merchandise it creates.
Who will be the audience for your media product? The audience for our media product will be rated for 15 years and over. 15 to 25 because they'll mostly find the storyline interesting, but it's welcome for anyone over the age of this as they can still find it interesting. We were looking at a film that deals with domestic violence. Our first inspiration came from Whitney's story, EastEnders, and from Hollyoaks, Amy's story, which both dealt with domestic violence. Then after we was looking into actual films like Take My Eyes, which also deals with it. But if anyone over the age of 25 was to watch it, the content may be too explicit and scenes of domestic violence and swearing.
How did you address your audience? We attracted our audience by watching a series of films, and then we tried to work out the main audience we thought the movie was for. We then tried to make sure that we had an idea of what types of film our audience would be more interested in. We also tried to attract an audience nearer our age, that way it would have been easier to make a decision, and we would also know what types of things to include in our media product. When we were in the process of making our product, we made sure that we went back and looked through our shot to make sure our targeted audience would be interested in our film. When we made our media product, we made sure we had asked other people similar ages to us what would keep them engaged in a film and what things they'd like to see. We took them all into consideration, but we put in what we also agreed with. Overall, we attracted our audience by trying to get an audience around the same age as us so we could find it less of a challenge and we could relate to it.
What have you learned about the technologies from the process of constructing this product? At the start of constructing it, I believed it would be easy and as simple as just getting the camera and recording it, but I realised there's a lot more planning involved, from the storyboard to making sure the quality of the sound doesn't have interruption by wind by putting a muffler on the microphone. Then when coming to the editing, we used Premiere Pro, which was the first time using this software, and this was used to cut and put all the scenes together. Due to the sound not being clear, we had to double what was already put and put the sound together, which was the first time doing this.
Looking back at your preliminary task, what do you feel you have learnt in the progression from it to the full product? From our preliminary task, we learnt that before doing any type of media product, we had to come up with an idea beforehand and make sure we had all our shots how we wanted to shoot them. In our full product, we thought about it thoroughly before we even began to shoot. We also learned how to use the camera better and be able to capture shots that we wanted to. We also learned that you need a story for your audience to be able to understand what is being shown. We are proud of what we did in our preliminary, but it helped develop our knowledge of making a media product.